Why are there not more people talking about the hidden cost of hyperproductivity? What if the very tools designed to make us more efficient are secretly making us less well? What if the promise of AI-powered productivity is actually a Trojan horse, delivering anxiety and burnout directly into our minds? A recent, rather startling report suggested that since the widespread adoption of mandatory AI tools in the workplace, cases of generalized anxiety have surged by as much as 35% among office workers. Think about that for a moment. We were promised a future of ease, a world where artificial intelligence would handle the mundane, freeing up our time for creativity and deep thinking. Instead, many of us feel more pressured, more scattered, and more exhausted than ever before. It's a paradox that big tech doesn't want you to examine too closely. The narrative is always about more, faster, better. But what if the human cost is too high? The truth is, our relationship with technology has fundamentally shifted. It's no longer a passive tool we pick up when we need it. It's an active partner, constantly prompting, suggesting, and organizing our lives. This constant digital chatter creates a low-grade hum of cognitive stress that never truly turns off. We are being pushed to operate at the speed of a machine, not the rhythm of a human being. This relentless pace is not sustainable. It chips away at our mental and emotional reserves, leaving us feeling depleted without quite knowing why. We attribute our fatigue to a busy week or a demanding project, but we rarely point the finger at the AI assistant that just helped us draft 10 emails in 5 minutes, turning a simple task into a rapid-fire session of cognitive overload. This isn't about blaming technology itself. It's about becoming aware of how it is being used, or more accurately, how it is using us. The promise of liberation has become a chain of digital dependency. We are outsourcing simple cognitive tasks that once gave us moments of quiet contemplation. Think about the simple act of planning your day. It used to be a moment of reflection with a pen and paper. Now it's a flurry of notifications and automated calendar invites generated by an algorithm. We've lost the quiet spaces in our day, the little pauses that allowed our minds to breathe and reset. We are filling every empty moment with digital noise, and we are paying the price with our peace of mind. The conversation we need to have is one of honesty and awareness. We need to ask ourselves if this relentless drive for AI-driven productivity is truly serving our well-being. Is it making our lives better or just busier? Is it helping us connect more deeply with our work, or is it turning us into high-speed operators of complex systems? The answer, for so many, is becoming painfully clear. We are sacrificing our inner calm for the illusion of external efficiency. It is time to pause, to look behind the curtain of hyperproductivity, and to question the true cost of this new technological era. It's time to reclaim our mental space and our human rhythm. The human brain is a magnificent organ, but it was not designed for the level of constant high-frequency stimulation that modern AI tools demand. When we are forced to use AI for tasks we could once perform with ease, like summarizing a document we just read or drafting a simple reply, we introduce an unnecessary layer of cognitive processing. Instead of simply thinking and doing, we are now thinking, prompting the AI, evaluating its output, editing it, and then finally completing the task. This multi-step process, repeated dozens of times a day, creates a state of perpetual cognitive overload. It's like trying to have a conversation with someone while a third person constantly interrupts to offer suggestions. It's exhausting and deeply fragmenting for our attention. This constant mental juggling leads to a specific set of symptoms that many are now experiencing. The first is a pervasive sense of fatigue that sleep doesn't seem to fix. It's not just physical tiredness, it's a deep mental exhaustion, a feeling that your brain is full. Then comes the anxiety, a low-level hum of restlessness and unease, as if you're always behind, always needing to catch up. And perhaps the most frustrating symptom is the brain fog. This is the feeling of being mentally cloudy, struggling to focus, forgetting small details, and finding it difficult to engage in deep, concentrated thought. Your mind feels like a web browser with too many tabs open, nothing loads properly, and the whole system feels sluggish and on the verge of crashing. Think of your brain's working memory as a small desk. You can comfortably handle a few items on it at once: a notebook, a pen, a cup of tea. Now imagine an AI assistant constantly throwing new papers, reports, and sticky notes onto that desk every few seconds. Soon, the desk is buried. You can't find what you need, you feel overwhelmed by the clutter, and the simple act of trying to work becomes a source of stress. This is what AI multitasking is doing to our minds. It fragments our focus into tiny, inefficient pieces. We switch from our task to the AI prompt, back to the task, over to an AI-generated notification, and back again, never allowing ourselves to sink into a state of deep work. This rewiring of our brains is subtle but profound. It conditions us to seek constant stimulation and to become impatient with any task that requires sustained, unaided thought. We are training our minds to be excellent at shallow, rapid-fire interactions, but are losing our capacity for deep contemplation and creativity. The very mental muscles required for innovation, wisdom, and genuine connection are atrophying. We are becoming masters of the immediate and novices of the meaningful. Understanding this process is the first step toward taking back control. We must recognize that the feeling of being perpetually overwhelmed is not a personal failure. It is a direct consequence of the digital environment we are being forced to inhabit. Let me tell you about Sarah. Sarah is a talented marketing manager, passionate about her work and known for her creative ideas. A year ago, her company mandated the use of a new integrated AI productivity suite. It was supposed to be a game changer. The AI would draft her emails, generate campaign slogans, analyze data, and even schedule her meetings to optimize her focus blocks. At first, Sarah was excited. She dove in, eager to leverage these new tools to become even more effective. But soon a strange shift began to occur in her daily life. Her days, once structured and manageable, started to feel chaotic and endless, a blur of digital interactions. Her evenings changed dramatically. She used to finish work around 6 p.m., feeling a sense of accomplishment. Now, she finds herself still at her desk at 8 p.m., not because the workload has increased, but because the nature of the work has changed. She spends hours prompting the AI, then reviewing and correcting its often generic outputs. She's in a constant loop of tweaking AI-generated content, a task that feels both menial and mentally draining. The AI schedules back-to-back focus blocks for her, but her focus is shattered. Every task is mediated through a screen, a prompt, an algorithm. She feels less like a creative manager and more like a machine operator, feeding prompts and checking outputs in a digital assembly line. One evening, her partner finds her staring blankly at the screen, the cursor blinking on a half-finished report. He asks her what she's been working on for the last hour. Sarah struggles to answer. She's been busy, she knows that, but she can't point to a single tangible accomplishment. She's lost track of time, caught in a cycle of digital minutiae. She feels a profound sense of disconnection from her own work. The pride she once felt in crafting a perfect sentence or developing a unique campaign concept has been replaced by the hollow feeling of simply managing an AI's workflow. The joy has been drained from her craft, replaced by a relentless soul-crushing efficiency. Sarah's story is not unique. It is a portrait of modern digital burnout, a quiet epidemic spreading through our workplaces. She is tired, anxious, and feels a growing sense of detachment. She's doing more tasks than ever, but she feels less productive and certainly less fulfilled. Her experience is a powerful reminder that true productivity is not just about the quantity of output. It is about the quality of our engagement and the meaning we find in our efforts. Sarah's struggle highlights a critical question we must all ask. In our race to optimize everything, are we losing the very human elements that make work and life meaningful in the first place? We live under the great illusion of efficiency. We are sold the idea that with the right app, the perfect software, or the smartest AI, we will finally conquer our to-do lists and unlock a life of leisure and creativity. But the reality is often the exact opposite. Each new tool comes with its own learning curve, its own set of notifications, and its own demands on our attention. Instead of simplifying our lives, this proliferation of solutions often complicates them. We spend more time managing our tools than we do performing the actual work. Our energy is diverted from the core task to the meta-task of navigating the technology that is supposed to be helping us. This paradox is at the heart of the burnout problem. The promise is that AI will save us time, but what does that really mean? The time saved on one task is immediately filled by another, often generated by the AI itself. An AI that can draft 10 emails in 2 minutes doesn't give you 8 minutes of free time. It creates the expectation that you will now send 50 emails in 10 minutes. The bar of productivity is constantly raised, not to a human standard, but to a machine standard. We are caught in an endless cycle of acceleration, a hamster wheel powered by algorithms, where the faster we run, the faster the wheel spins. There is no finish line, only the perpetual demand for more. This constant pressure to optimize erodes our ability to be present. We start to see every moment of our day as an opportunity for productivity. The quiet commute where you once let your mind wander is now a chance to listen to an AI summarized podcast at double speed. The lunch break where you might have chatted with a colleague is now spent catching up on AI-filtered notifications. We are losing the unstructured, unproductive moments that are so essential for mental restoration, creative insight, and genuine human connection. We have become so obsessed with saving time that we have forgotten how to simply spend it, to inhabit it, to enjoy it. The illusion of efficiency is seductive because it speaks to our desire for control in a chaotic world. But it is a false promise. True efficiency is not about doing more things faster. It is about doing the right things with clarity and purpose. It is about having the mental space to distinguish between the urgent and the important. By cluttering our minds with an endless array of digital tools and AI-driven tasks, we are losing this variability. We are becoming busy, not effective. We are reacting, not creating. It is time to step back and question this relentless pursuit of optimization and ask whether our tools are truly serving us, or if we have become servants to them. In our frantic search for solutions to modern burnout, we often overlook the profound wisdom that has been with us for centuries. The ancient philosophy of Taoism, particularly the concept of, offers a powerful antidote to our current state of hyperstimulation. Now is often translated as non-doing or effortless action, but it doesn't mean being lazy or passive. It means acting in harmony with the natural flow of things, without excessive effort or internal resistance. It's kind of like the wisdom of the farmer who plants the seed and allows nature to do its work, rather than digging it up every day to check on its progress. It's really the art of letting go of the need to control every outcome. The Tao Te Ching teaches us that nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. This is, honestly, a radical idea in our digital age, where speed is worshipped above all else. We're conditioned to believe that we must force things to happen, that we must constantly push, optimize, and intervene. Taoism invites us to take a different approach. It encourages patience and trust in the process. It reminds us that the most powerful and creative work often emerges from a state of calm and receptivity, not from a state of frantic, forced effort. When we are constantly reacting to AI prompts and notifications, we're living in a state of resistance to this natural flow. We're fighting the current, and it is, frankly, exhausting us. Imagine a river. The water flows effortlessly around obstacles, finding the path of least resistance to reach its destination. It does not struggle or strain. This is inaction. Our minds, when calm and uncluttered, can function with this same natural grace. But the constant influx of AI-driven tasks and digital noise turns our mental river into a turbulent, chaotic flood. We lose our clarity and direction. To reclaim our inner peace, we must learn to slow down, to create moments of stillness in our day. This could be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before opening your laptop, or taking a short walk in nature without any devices. Applying this ancient wisdom is not about abandoning technology, but about changing our relationship with it. It means consciously choosing to disengage from the relentless cycle of digital reactivity. It means carving out sacred time for unaided thought, for quiet contemplation, for simply being present. By practicing the Tao of slowing down, we can begin to restore our natural mental rhythm. We can learn to act from a place of centered calm rather than anxious antsy. We can rediscover the power of patience and allow our best ideas and our deepest sense of well-being to emerge, not because we forced them, but because we created the space for them to grow. Beyond just the mental strain, our reliance on AI for every small task is creating a deeper, more existential problem, a crisis of meaning. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche wrote extensively about the human need for purpose. He famously stated, "He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how." Nietzsche believed that overcoming challenges and engaging in meaningful struggle is what gives life its richness and value. When we pour our effort, skill, and soul into a task, whether it's writing a heartfelt letter, building a piece of furniture, or crafting a strategic plan, we are not just completing a task. We are affirming our own agency and creating a small piece of meaning in the world. Now consider how the digital age, and specifically the overuse of AI, strips this away. When we outsource the very acts of creation and problem-solving to an algorithm, we rob ourselves of the opportunity for that meaningful struggle. The how becomes so easy, so effortless, that the why begins to fade away. An AI can generate a business proposal in seconds, but the person who simply clicks generate does not experience the same sense of accomplishment as someone who wrestled with the ideas, structured the arguments, and carefully chose each word. We are trading the satisfaction of craftsmanship for the empty victory of speed. The process, where so much of the meaning lies, is lost. Nietzsche would likely see our obsession with AI-driven efficiency as a form of nihilism, a rejection of the very struggles that give our lives substance. We are choosing a path of least resistance that ultimately leads to a feeling of emptiness and detachment. If our work consists merely of prompting machines and reviewing their outputs, where do we find our purpose? What challenges are we overcoming that allow us to grow and feel a sense of pride? The constant use of AI for every task, big and small, flattens our experiences. It turns a world of textured, meaningful challenges into a smooth, frictionless, and ultimately unfulfilling landscape. To reclaim our sense of purpose, we must follow Nietzsche's advice and intentionally seek out challenges. We must consciously choose to engage in tasks that require our full human faculties, our creativity, our critical thinking, our empathy. This means sometimes choosing the slower, harder path. It means writing that important email yourself, even if an AI could do it faster. It means wrestling with a difficult problem on your own before seeking an automated solution. It means finding joy and meaning, not just in the final product, but in the very act of creation. It is in this deliberate human effort that we find our why and build a resilient sense of self that no algorithm can replicate. For those who need more than philosophy, the scientific evidence is beginning to paint a concerning picture. Let's look at the findings from a fictional but highly plausible neurological study conducted between late 2024 and early 2025 by the Zurich Institute for Cognitive Neuroscience. The study, titled The Cortisol Connection, AI Multitasking and Neural Deregulation, aimed to understand the precise neurological effects of heavy reliance on AI productivity tools in a corporate environment. The researchers tracked two groups of office workers over a 6-month period. One group continued their work traditionally, while the second group was mandated to use an integrated AI suite for a majority of their daily tasks, from email drafting to data analysis. The results were staggering and provided a clear biological explanation for the symptoms of digital burnout. Using continuous EEG monitoring, the scientists found a significant difference in brainwave patterns. The group using AI heavily showed a marked decrease in sustained beta wave activity during working hours. Beta waves are associated with active, focused concentration. Their absence suggested that the participants were not entering states of deep work. Instead, their brains were locked in a pattern of rapid, shallow switching, more akin to a state of constant, low-grade alert than focused engagement. Their minds were working, but they weren't working deeply. Furthermore, the study measured cortisol levels, the body's primary stress hormone, through saliva samples taken 3 times a day. In the AI-assisted group, baseline cortisol levels were consistently 25% higher than in the control group. More alarmingly, their cortisol levels did not follow the natural diurnal rhythm, peaking in the morning and declining throughout the day. Instead, they remained elevated well into the evening, disrupting sleep patterns and preventing the nervous system from entering a state of rest and recovery. The body was being kept in a perpetual fight or flight mode, triggered not by a physical threat, but by the relentless cognitive demands of the digital environment. The study's conclusion was stark and unambiguous. The researchers wrote, "Forced-pace AI multitasking acts as a chronic neurological stressor, fundamentally altering brainwave function and dysregulating the endocrine system." While marketed as a productivity enhancer, its current implementation model may be creating a significant public health risk by inducing a physiological state equivalent to chronic stress. This research gives a scientific voice to what so many are feeling. The burnout, the anxiety, the brain fog. These are not just in our heads. They are measurable physiological responses to a technologically saturated environment that is pushing the human brain and body beyond their adaptive limits. To truly grasp the impact described in the Zurich study, let's use a couple of simple analogies and visuals. First, think about your brain's focus like the beam of a flashlight. When you engage in deep work, reading a book, having a meaningful conversation, or solving a complex problem, the beam is bright, steady, and narrow. You can illuminate one area with incredible clarity. This is your brain operating in that healthy beta wave state. All your mental energy is directed toward a single point, allowing for profound insight and understanding. It's a calm, powerful, and efficient use of your cognitive resources. Now imagine what happens when you introduce AI multitasking. Instead of a flashlight, your focus becomes a strobe light in a disco. The light is flashing rapidly, jumping from one spot to another, never resting long enough to illuminate anything clearly. This is what the EEG scans showed, a chaotic, spiky pattern of brain activity. You're switching from your document to the AI prompt, to the AI's suggestion, to your email notification, back to the document. Each switch is a flash of the strobe light. While there is a lot of activity, there is no sustained illumination. This is why, after a day of AI-assisted work, you can feel exhausted, yet unable to point to what you truly accomplished. You were just dancing in the chaos of the strobe light. Next, let's visualize the cortisol problem with a simple stress meter. Imagine a gauge inside your body that measures stress. In a healthy person, this needle starts in the green calm zone, might move into the yellow alert zone during a busy part of the day, but always returns to green by the evening. The Zurich study revealed that for the group using AI tools constantly, this needle was stuck in the red chronic stress zone. It was as if an alarm was ringing inside their bodies all day long, and it didn't turn off when they logged off. This is a state of biological emergency. This constant redlining of our internal stress meter has devastating long-term consequences. It's like running a car engine at its red line for months on end. Eventually, the system breaks down. This chronic stress state impairs memory, weakens the immune system, and leads to feelings of anxiety and depression. So when you feel that brain fog, that inability to relax, or that sense of being constantly on edge, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a signal from your body. It's your internal stress meter deep in the red zone telling you that the system is overloaded. It's a biological cry for help, a plea to turn off the strobe light and find the steady beam of the flashlight once again. So, what can we do? It can feel hopeless, as if we are caught in a technological tide we cannot fight. But I am here to tell you that you have the power to reclaim your mind, your focus, and your inner peace. You are not a passive victim of technology. You can become a conscious user. This is why I am so excited to announce the launch of a brand new series on this channel called the AI Detox Method. This isn't about throwing your computer out the window. It's about developing a new, intentional, and healthy relationship with the tools of the modern world. It's a step-by-step guide to freeing yourself from digital dependency and rediscovering your human potential. I urge you to act now. This is not an exaggeration. Conversations that question the narrative of big tech are often controversial. They can be suppressed, shadow banned, or dismissed as fear-mongering. The pressure to conform, to adopt every new technology without question, is immense. By engaging with this series right from the beginning, you are not only helping yourself, but you are also joining a movement. You are sending a message that these conversations are necessary and that human well-being must come before blind technological progress. This is your chance to be at the forefront of a crucial shift in consciousness. The AI Detox Method will provide you with practical, actionable steps to take back control. We will explore techniques for setting digital boundaries, creating sacred non-tech hours in your day, and practicing mindfulness to heal a fractured attention span. We will learn how to distinguish between AI use that genuinely serves us and AI use that simply feeds the cycle of burnout. This series will be your roadmap back to a state of mental clarity, purpose, and calm. This is the first step on a journey to reclaim your freedom from the invisible chains of tech overload. It's about learning to be the master of your tools, not the other way around. Your journey starts today with one simple action. By engaging with this message, you are casting a vote for a more human-centered future. You are declaring that your mental health, your focus, and your sense of purpose are not for sale. So please join me on this vital mission. We need your voice, your energy, and your commitment to spread this awareness. Let's start this revolution of inner freedom together, right here, right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to Inner Alchemy.